Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're back with another paintball review. We have the HDX 68 caliber from the T4E line. This is made by Umarex, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about likes, dislikes, what you need to know, and whether you should buy it depending on what you're looking for. Now, this thing is called the HDX because it is the Home Defense Extreme. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call it a home defense weapon. I mean, it comes standard shooting like 160 FPS, which is really low. I was really underwhelmed by that. But you can drill out the air restrictor or just take the whole thing out, which is what I did about halfway through my ownership of the product. And it made it shoot a lot faster, but it also brought up some mechanical issues. So we're going to get into all that. But first, we're going to start off with aesthetically, which is the main reason I bought this gun, if I'm being honest. It is beautiful looking and feeling. It feels exactly like a real shotgun. It has this all through here is metal. It's got these two rails right here and here. I've put flashlights and lasers on here. This is nice. I've never tried mounting a scope on here because why would you do that? It's a shotgun. But the iron sights are made of plastic, and I guess you call them plastic sights, but they're a little loose, and I guess they're just not really great sights. However, then this is plastic, this is polymer, this is plastic. This barrel tip here is absolutely dangerous looking. I mean, this thing just looks like it wants to kill you. I mean, it's pretty sharp here too. You could hurt somebody with this. This thing comes right off if you want to try and put that on another gun. I don't know what the threads are, but I've never tried putting it on anything else. The pump action is really smooth. I really like it. The trigger pull is amazing. I like all those aspects of the gun. However, when we get into mechanical and paintball performance, it's not that great. I know this thing isn't only made for paintball. You can shoot rubber rounds, plastic rounds, metal rounds, powder balls, really any 68 cal projectile you want to out of it, but once you get up to a certain FPS, it's going to start breaking paint. I also don't like the fact that with this gun, it really varies on its FPS. So I could go in my first shot being 250, and my second shot would be like 150, and it's just, I mean, it's such a wide range, and it's such an inaccurate weapon. It's really not accurate. I am used to shooting first strikes through an FST-15, so take that for what you will. But as far as loading and actually airing up the gun goes, to get the air in, you're going to need 12 gram CO2s. There's a little clip right here that you just push in. You pull it off, and then careful, because this thing sometimes falls out on you. This is just a little key to help you unscrew this part. Once you unscrew this, you put in one CO2 this way, and then one CO2 this way. So you actually want them butt to butt, having one end here and one end here, because there's a puncture here and a puncture here. Once you have that, this little thing will stick out. Put that back on. Then right here, this thing will pop out. Give that a little smack. Pretty hefty smack to get it, to make sure that you activate both 12 gram CO2s. Once you get that powered up, you're going to be getting about 3 runs through 16 round mags, and then about another half run where you're pretty low on CO2. But this thing does have a 16 round tube, and to load it, all you're going to have to do, rack this back. There's a little key inside the grip that you just pull right out of there. There it is. Sometimes you really got to jack this thing back. I'd like to mention that. The whole loading process is another reason I really dislike this gun, but stick that in there. You'll feel when it clicks in right there. And then it's just like a little ramp for the paintballs that go in. Make the paintball slide in easier. You get 16 rounds in there. You pull it out carefully because there's a spring in here. And if you pull it out too fast, all your paintballs come flying out. You take this, throw it right back in the grip. That thing will stay there. It won't fall out. I've played a couple games of paintball with it. It will not fall out. Rack it forward, and you're ready to go. This thing does have a safety right here. However, the safety won't actually activate unless you chamber one. Then it will activate. and then you pull the trigger, it won't activate anymore. I don't know what makes that happen, but it's very odd. Accuracy and FPS are two problems that I mentioned with this gun earlier. It's very inaccurate, and when it comes out of the box stock, like I said, 160 feet per second, not great. You're shooting really slow, really inaccurately. Your balls are dropping off very quickly, but that's okay if that's what you're looking for. As a close-range weapon, this thing really isn't bad, but like I said, I'm not using it for close range. This thing's more of a rifle than it is a shotgun, which is another thing that bothers me, because you're holding a shotgun, it feels like you should be shooting a pattern round, but no, you're shooting one ball. It's one singular ball. Accuracy, this gun really goes all over the place. I'd say it's only accurate up to about 20, maybe even 15 yards, where you're like really dead on accurate, and then after that, they just start splitting off wildly. This gun's other features include this two loops here where you can put a strap if you'd like. They have them on both sides, depending on whatever side you want. And then this rail up here, you could put a sight on it. Honestly, you could put a nice red dot on it and it'd be okay, but I just stick with the iron sights, because why put a red dot on it when it's not accurate? As far as maintenance goes, this gun leaked on me before and after I took it apart and drilled out the air restrictor plate. It had leakage issues through here when the pump was back, and through the barrel. If you have a ball in the chamber, it won't leak, and you're not leaking an insane amount of air, but maybe mine just came defective. I couldn't figure out how to fix it, and neither could a guy at a paintball repair place I took it to. So it just doesn't perform like you'd think it would. It's very slow, it leaks, all those things. I've taken it apart to drill the air restrictor out, which is a pain in the ass. The air restrictor is at the deepest point in this thing possible. I've literally taken everything out of it and put everything back in just to drill that air restrictor out. And I've done it about 4 times because I thought I broke it, but I did not. So once you get the air restrictor out, we're shooting about 250 FPS, but like I said, not reliable, not consistent. So I guess I'll show you all what I'm talking about, and we'll go out and shoot it after we get her loaded up. Alright, let's get this thing all loaded up. First we need some paint and some CO2. Alright, so first off, let's get the CO2 in. Like I said, take this, clip it off. Got your little hex key here. Slide that right on there. You gotta find the right tuning for it. Let's get this unscrewed. That can be really hard to get unscrewed sometimes, but there we got that out. Got that piercer right there. Now remember, the first one goes in this way. This end goes in. And the second one goes in the other way. It does not go like this. It goes but like this. I would recommend oiling this gun up for sure. We're just going to re-screw this back in. Make sure you get the threads right so you don't cross-thread it. Guy almost did there. Put the key back in. And then it'll stop right about there. Perfect. Alright, now we can just put this thing right back on there. Slide it on. Good. Now all we're going to have to do is smack this here and the CO2 engages. Now the next thing we're going to do to load it up, rack it back, pull this out of the grip, put it in there, and then just like a little ramp, we got 1, 2, 15, 16. That last ball can be troublesome to get in there sometimes. Take this clip out carefully so that all our balls don't come spilling out everywhere. There we go. Slide it right back into here. Rack one, and we're ready to shoot. Definitely a bit of a windy, cold day out here, so we're going to see how the CO2 performs in a bit of a colder situation, but here we go. Really get that smacked good. Do it a couple times. We already have one racked. Safety's off. Ready to go.
Now with the excess CO2, all we got to do is push this little button here down. Let that come out. You're going to hear it for a second. Let it all get out of there. What I'd like to do is, since we broke a lot of paint, we're going to run a barrel squeegee through it, which we got right here. You should get one of these for sure if you're going to do any paintballing at all. They are so necessary. First, we're going to take it. We're going to unscrew the tip. Long thread. And then we can wash this separately, which we will in a minute. But first off, let's get this barrel squeegee through here. Once we got it through the other side, I'm just going to pull. It's going to go right into there. There we go. We can see that there is tons of paint on there. I just got it all over the sink too. But now that's all clean, but we did break a lot of paint. So this thing broke quite a bit of paint, which no bueno. But let's get back to the review.
Alright, after all that shooting, I now want to talk about whether it is worth the money and if I would recommend buying it. My last video, I did recommend the FST-15, I still do. Beautiful weapon, I have some more update videos coming on that soon. But this, I would not recommend. It is a whopping $300. And I know I am a paintball player, so I'm not using it for home defense. And maybe you just want something to look badass on your shelf. And that's what this is. It looks badass. It's cool. But it doesn't perform well on a field, and it's honestly just an underwhelming experience shooting it. $300, too much money, not good performance. I would not recommend this. So if you're thinking about buying it, that's my take on it, but if you do want something to look badass on your wall, this will do it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to see more paintball content. Within the next couple weeks, we're going to have a couple more videos coming at you, a few more reviews, a few more updates, and a few upgrade videos. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next time.